Essential Depo's Greener Life member interview. We are very proud and honored to have you here, Mr. Dave. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks, and it's my privilege to be here.
Okay. Dave, let the world know about you. We wish to hear who Mr. Dave is all about.
Well, I like to fish, and I'm a trademark attorney in Toledo, Ohio, and I get to help people protect their trademarks in the United States and outside of the United States. I also work from some attorneys in Europe. So I've had some experience with trademarks domestically and primarily Canada and Europe. And I have fun, I enjoy it. I started out as a patent attorney in Toledo, and I did not enjoy it, which means I probably didn't do the best job I could. And I learned about trademarks and the power that they have when consumers make choices. And I like trademarks, and I like working with trademark owners because so many of them are small businesses that are just getting started. And that's the time to learn about trademarks.
Okay. It's great to hear. And Dave, how important is getting your trademark registered for a business?
I think it's extremely important, and not just because I'm a trademark attorney. The trademark system in the United States has many components, and the first one, the foremost one, the one that you have to understand if you're starting a business is that you might have chosen a trademark that conflicts with somebody else's trademark, and you might not know it right away. And it might be a year or two down the road, and you get a letter that says, hey, you can't use this name on your product, and you would have to start over again. If there isn't a conflict, I think there are many reasons to register your trademark. Would you like to hear them? All right. Well, first of all, you get to use the R in a circle next to your trademark, and that looks pretty cool. But more importantly, when you register a trademark at the Patent and Trademark Office, the information about you and your trademark goes into the office's trademark database. Now, if somebody were to apply to register your trademark, and it's a process. The application would be examined, but the examining attorneys in the Patent and Trademark Office only look for possible conflicts with trademarks that are registered at the Patent and Trademark Office. Well, if you're not registered, somebody else could come along and have their application approved to register your trademark, and that would be bad.
Okay. Dave, what is the benefit for customers who are availing the product which has a trademark?
Well, the advantage is to identify yourself and distinguish your products from other people's products. The best thing that can happen to a trademark is that it becomes recognized, and if you're making a good product and your name is recognized, then people can tell their friends, and those people can tell their friends. And word of mouth advertising, I think especially in personal care, is very important.
Is it mandatory for a business to get its trademark registered in US?
It is not required, and some people that I talk to think that you can't use the name. Well, that's not true. But you have to make sure that it's not too similar to someone else's name. And you bring up a point that highlights a unique part of U.S. trademark law. And what I'm talking about is the creation of the trademark rights. In the United States, if you take a trademark, your trademark, put it on your product, and then sell that product, one of two things. Either you've actually established a legal ownership right to that name, or you're infringing somebody else's trademark. And that's why you have to look for possible conflicts at the very beginning, because it's so much work to make great product and market it. And you're known by the name on the product. You need to make sure that's yours. And so actually the registration doesn't create the trademark rights in the US. It just enhances them. And
Good.
you do not have to be registered to have the right to use the name, but you should have done some homework by the time you print your first label.
Yes, that's highly informative, Mr. Dave. And Dave, how long it gets how long it takes for your trademark to get registered?
Well, it's taking longer than it used to. Typically, this process is going to take 1 to 2 years. And that's new. 2 years ago, we were more in the 8 to 16 month range, but there's been a large increase in the number of trademark application filings each year. So, and registration is a process. Would you like to hear about that?
Absolutely.
Well, all right. It starts with preparing and filing an application for trademark registration, and that's filed at the United States Patent and Trademark Office. But only after you've done your homework and looked for conflicts. And that application will be picked up for examination in approximately 8 or 9 months. And 2 years ago, it was 3 or 4 months. So that's part of the problem. The application will be approved for registration of the trademark or refused. When it's approved for registration, your trademark is published in a weekly publication. It's called the Trademark Gazette. And the public then has an opportunity for 30 days to object to your registration. If no objection is lodged by the public, then you will receive a certificate of trademark registration. Now, if the trademark examining attorney refuses registration, you have the opportunity to study that and decide how to approach it. Either it's a barrier, or you can present arguments and convince the examining attorney that there's registrable trademark there.
Okay. Okay, fine. Dave, what is the cost of registration, and what is the charge that the attorney has from his side?
Sure. Well, I can start with my fee schedule. First of all, there's a fee payable to the Patent and Trademark Office of $350. I charge a flat attorney fee of $900 to prepare and file the application. That would include that check for possible conflicts that might prevent you from succeeding in registering your trademark. And if there's an examination and the application is then approved, we're going to go ahead and pull that publication and check to make sure the Patent and Trademark Office got it right. we charge a fee for TINA services of $100. We report that out to the client. And when the certificate of registration issues, you'll get a paper that outlines steps that you have to take to maintain your registration and keep it in force. And that can be done as long as you renew it and as long as you're using your trademark on your product.
And Dave, like, can you tell us, like, what are all the grounds that an application gets rejected by the examination committee?
Well, the common one is an examining attorney will search for similar trademarks and decide that the similarity is too much. And registration will be refused on the ground that they're so similar that people are likely to be confused, thinking one product is the other just because of the names on them. Another reason that trademarks can be refused registration is a case where the trademark describes the product. So think of the word soap. That's the name of a thing. The trademark that goes on there is what people recognize. We call soap the generic name. Well, sometimes people pick trademarks that just describe the product, whether it's the scent of it. There was a case, speaking of soap business owners, a woman registered the trademark soap loaf for soap. And soap loaf, as I understand it, comes right out of the mold. So her trademark wasn't actually a trademark, it was the name of the product. And somewhere between, when you get past using the name of the product, the generic name, and trying to claim a trademark, which you can't, then you get into the case where, well, it's not the name of the actual product, but it describes the product. Think of soft or smooth or moisturizing. Those aren't trademarks. Again, those are simply the properties of soap. And sometimes it's a fine line where we have to argue that. Don't apply to register the name of a dead president. That won't work. There are several, and but those are the most frequent.
Okay, sounds interesting. And Dave, does the size of the business and the cost for getting your trademark registered has any connection between them?
No. The application fees to the Patent and Trademark Office are the same for one person as they are for, I won't say the name of the mass soap producer, but unfortunately that's not true. But on the positive side, we're talking about hundreds of dollars worth of fees to the Patent and Trademark Office. If you're on the patent side, you're talking about thousands of dollars of fees you pay. And patents expire. Trademarks can stay registered as long as you're using the trademark. And the longer you use it, the more recognition and value you build up in it.
Okay. So the registration is just a one-time registration, or do we have any expiry date, like 5 years or 10 years to renew the registration?
I think you did your homework, because the 5th anniversary is the beginning of a 1-year window. Two things: you must be using your trademark. If you stop using it, you abandon it, and you're not using it, you can't maintain the registration. So if you are using it, then you have to file a statement that you're using it under declaration, penalties of perjury. You have to send money to the Patent and Trademark Office, and if your product's soap, you have to send a picture showing your product with the trademark on the box. And then renewals are actually every 10 years. The thing is, to get to the first 10-year renewal, you have that fifth and sixth anniversary to file the statement of use. So a 10-year renewal, and then every 10 years after that. And some trademarks have been registered in the United States continuously since the 1800s. And I'm old enough to remember.
Okay. Okay. Dave, do you have any piece of advice for a new startup regarding a trademark registration? When should they actually think of registering their trademark?
Right away, you should start thinking about registering your trademark. The first step when you come up with a name, the first step you have to take is to look for marks that might conflict with your right to use or register your trademark. So, of course, you're going to look at the marketplace. You're going to look on Google for a search for if you make soap and your trademark. And if something comes up, you have to evaluate that. You also have to look at the records in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and that's a publicly available trademark database. So don't start using your trademark unless you've done some due diligence to see if there might be a conflict. And once you started using your trademark, you can apply to register that trademark. There are reasons to do it. I've talked to many people who say, no, I don't have to register it. That's true, but there are a couple of traps you can fall into. For example, if you're using your trademark and I apply to register it at the Patent and Trademark Office, it won't be refused based on your using it. The only place the Patent and Trademark Office looks for possible conflicts is marks that are registered there. So if you're not registered there, you're very vulnerable to having someone else register your trademark. And you could get into a battle, and you might even win that battle if you've been using it for a long time. But unlike some attorneys, I don't like to see my clients battle, especially if you can avoid it and focus your resources on other parts of your business.
So much of information, and every piece of information is highly valuable to someone who's about to start. And Dave, I have one analogy. Say, suppose I have a business that's been running for 5 years now. Is it okay for me to get my trademark registered in the 6th year?
To register it, you haven't registered? I'm not sure I quite follow. If you wait to apply to register it, that's okay. But again, I recommend you do it kind of quickly once you're using it so that somebody else doesn't come in. Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been associated with Essential Depo, and how did you get to connect with this wonderful company that has a greater social responsibility?
Years and years ago, I met Derek Hodges and his lovely wife, Kim, at a handcrafted soap and cosmetic guild conference. I liked Derek right away, and I knew he was, we'll say, unique. He was so interested in my job with trademarks, and you could tell he was very interested in his customers and what they needed. And sometimes that's how he learned that, oh, I need to start offering this product. He's a good listener, but that's how long, several years, and he's given me the privilege of helping him with trademarks.
Oh, are you a lifetime member of Green Life Club?
I am. I wear the emblem too.
Okay. So when did you become a lifetime member of Green Life Club?
1 month after they started.
Okay. So, any
Years.
special reason? Okay.
Well, I think it goes back to, I've learned a lot of things from Derek. He's a businessman that cares. And he told me that I might want to look at a white paper about the destruction of forests and the devastating effect on the population of orangutans. And I read it, and I would say it kind of opened my eyes, but wider than I wanted them to be open. The people around us don't always do things with the environment in mind or people in mind. I learned some more about Greener Life Club when I went to see Derek, and he was able to explain to me and a small group about the meaning of the Greener Life Club, which is represented in a 4-grid diamond. So these are the things that Derek thinks about, and this is how he feels he can enhance his customers' experience. The diamonds stand for carbon footprint. Are we putting carbon in the air that can be avoided? And Essential Depo will gravitate towards that if it's there. We also have the animal footprint. Are we growing something in a way that we're endangering, I'll say, species? And we are. That's being done. Derek's also concerned with bio-friendly. He wants his products to be pure, and they are pure. And there are competitors who cut corners and adulterate their the products to save a little money, make a little more money. That's no secret. But the thing that really drives it home for me is what I would call fair trade. If you have somebody as a supplier, it has to be a good organization, and that means many things. But one thing means that you're making a living wage. You're able to keep up and maybe get ahead. And I've had some debates with Derek about what it means to have executives making millions of dollars every year, while somebody on the line is making, let's say, $1,500 a month. I mean, there's some terrible examples out there. And this isn't just talk for Derek. A couple of years after I met him, he and Kim traveled to Ghana, and they met people that make shea butter. And I've seen the process summarized into a very quick video, and there are some skills and some knowledge and there's some art to it. And to this day, I think Essential Depot is getting shea butter from this group, but Derek took the time to learn about the business and how they did it, and what are their methods for how do they pick an area to harvest, and what do they do to sustain that, and is there a living wage? And those are the reasons that Derek continues his relationship with them. Kevin Dunn and Dr. Kevin Dunn and Mark are headed to Ghana yet this year to follow up, because things change, and maybe they're not doing so well, or maybe they're doing better. But this is something about the Greener Life Club that attracted me right away. I can't change a lot of things, but I can support businesses that support these principles, and I do. And Derek is one of a handful of people that I know that are true to this.
Certainly, Dave. As we have heard from you, Essential Depo is certainly an inspiration to the entire world, because people all around the world are becoming selfish day by day. And to see someone who has a social concern and someone who has a concern for the environment is rare, actually.
No, it's
And
refreshing and encouraging.
yes. And can we take it as a token of gratitude, that is giving back to Mother Nature the love that we receive from her? Can we take it this way, Dave?
We should treat every day as a blessing and to look for the beauty. And I live by a river, and walking down there is just, it's exhilarating. And greener life, I think that's part of what a greener life means, beyond the things that we've talked about. I try to live a greener life.
Superb. And Dave, one last question. What does being a Greener Life Club member means to you? And what kind of value that adds to your life?
Well, so much. I get to meet wonderful business people that are starting out. I have reached the point where I am so committed to this Greener Life Club that I am offering a discount in the attorney's services fee to prepare and file an application. And that reduction is $100. And you can get to that through the Greener Life Club website.
Thank you so much for this wonderful gift from this session. And thank you so much for all your support and services throughout. And we wish to have you till we continue this beautiful service to the society. Thank you so much, Dave.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. And I would like to tell people that might find this video, well, in case you haven't noticed, I like to talk about trademarks. And I love it when people call my office with questions. I don't turn on a meter or keep track of things, but I do try to share my enthusiasm about trademarks, and I love to see new businesses get enthusiastic about trademarks.
Certainly, you are helping hundreds of customers all through the years, and we are very happy to have you here once again, Dave, and congratulations for all your efforts throughout, and we wish to see you reach greater heights in the future as well. Hope to see you soon, Dave. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.